mistakes. You see I make quite a few of them, even from up here. But we all make mistakes, don't we? Yeah. And when we do, we're criticised for them, aren't we? Sometimes, whether justly or unjustly. Some mistakes we do are quite immediate. They create an immediate response by those around us. And other mistakes sometimes take a little bit of time, don't they, to come to the surface. But they ultimately cause a bit of conflict down the line. Have you ever experienced that? Yeah, we're all singing off the same sheet there. Everybody makes mistakes, everybody. Some are intentional, as we just don't know any better, and others we create with some of the best intentions, don't we? Mistakes happen, and it's part of life. And we even make mistakes in the church. Yeah. Did you know that? Yeah. Yes. We even make mistakes in the church. Many people can be made to feel unwelcome. Many people have their flaws pointed out. I hope none of you have said you're sitting in my seat, because as far as I last checked, all the chairs belong to the general, and he can, determine. But that's one of those things, isn't it? It seems really simple, but if that's your first time in church, a little bit difficult, isn't it? The church makes mistakes. Why? Because the church is made up of people, and we are not perfect. Sorry to burst that bubble this morning, we are not perfect. I read on my Facebook timeline quite a while ago a post from one of the churches in America. You know these big signs they have outside and they slide the letters on? We shouldn't get one of them maybe on the front. One of those who've got big signs on. And it said here, "I'm sorry you have been hurt by the church. That was people, that wasn't God." Yet we probably know someone, or have been that someone, who has been hurt by the church. We all make mistakes, and Jesus in our reading today gives us the tools to show forgiveness. So how do we handle mistakes by others? And I'm going to extend that question a little bit. How do we handle mistakes by our brothers and sisters in the church? Jesus says that in order to live a authentic Christian life, we need to forgive. Forgiveness can be a challenge, as it's very easy to hold a grudge, isn't it? I have a grudge that goes way back. Jill's already heard this grudge before. I have a grudge with NatWest. Yeah, I'm sorry if any of you have worked for NatWest, you'll go with NatWest. When I was 16, the NatWest cash point stole my card. And when I went into the branch, they weren't very helpful. And since then, I have nothing to do with NatWest. I've held a grudge ever since. It probably has nothing to do with anything that anybody in that shop does, but I just have a thing about NatWest. And I've just found out that one of our accounts has switched to NatWest. And Chris knew my feelings on this and had to brave that conversation. But it's a grudge, isn't it? It's an unnecessary thing that I've put in my life. And I've known people, for whatever reason, will not work together because families fell out over 60 years ago. And you can probably recall some of those events. The root of the disagreement has long been forgotten. So what caused that disagreement has been forgotten, but the grudge remains. The NatWest effect, as you might want to call it, remains. Other banks are available. I'm just going to clarify that now. Other banks are available. But it extends, doesn't it, into future generations. We taint future generations with that grudge. And it continues the hurt. And it makes a challenge, doesn't it, to live life in all its fullness. And forgiveness is required in order to be effective for Christ. So I'm sorry, you're all going to have to learn to forgive. That's a big challenge, isn't it? And I love to watch the TV series called The Big Bang Theory. I don't know if any of you have seen this series. It's a comedy series that focuses on socially awkward scientists, physicists, as they journey through relationships, discoveries, and experiments. And one of the characters, Leonard, has a very difficult relationship with his mother, for those of you that have watched the series. His mother is a psychiatrist, and she, in his opinion, has been overanalyzing him since the day he was born, and all he wanted was a mother figure. And throughout the series, we see this fractious nature of their relationship, where Leonard has begun to resent his lack of attention. And yet towards the